One Zambia, one nation. You are watching Zanis News. To present, my name is Henry Himonde. A look at our headlines. Price of fertilizer set to reduce on local market. Solwezi farmers swayed into obtaining voters' cards to access farming inputs. And FARS held for newly constituted under-23 national team. The news in detail. The price of fertilizer is set to reduce on the local market following the commencement of production of D-compound fertilizer by United Company Fertilizer Company in Chilanga district. The wholly Zambian-owned firm is determined to contribute to the country's high demand of the commodity by both small-scale and commercial farmers. Branch Siwisha has details in the following report.
Agriculture is one key sector that continues to receive attention from government. It is also a foreign exchange earner through the exports of crops such as maize and other farm produce. However, a sustained agricultural system cannot thrive in the absence of the private sector and other players. Construction of Capital Fertilizer Company could not have come at a better time when the country is in dire need of fertilizer to meet the farmers' high demand and add value to agriculture. The company is determined to support government's agenda of food security now that it has commenced production of D-compound fertilizer.
I think what you have seen here is a veritable evidence of how private sector can help in contribution to the economic growth and also economic development. What you see here at United Capital Fertilizer is private sector driven investment. We are now producing D-compound fertilizer, which we have branded Licho.
With the growing demand of the commodity, the company is ready to work with government so that farmers receive the right kind of fertilizer, which is expected to lead to a reduction in prices eventually on the local market.
Licho is a local name in Lozi that means food. So our D-compound fertilizer is called Licho because we want to allow every Zambian to have food. I think you must have heard the president on Friday indicated that first priority is mending the economy by allowing private sector to participate fully. The environment is very conducive.
And by Zambia campaign promoter Evans Goma is elated with the development as this will increase the number of companies manufacturing fertilizer in the country.
Industrialization has to take center stage. This is exactly what we have seen here happening today. Also, in getting back to the AU, the Senegalese president, Macky Sall, also retaliated the call to say that Africa must begin to produce its own fertilizers. This is testimony enough that United Capital Fertilizer has begun to produce for the local consumption.
Branch Siwisha reporting for Zanis in Chilanga district.
In Luapula province, Milenge District Commissioner Alan Mutale has flagged off the distribution of farming inputs to vulnerable but viable farmers under the Food Security Park Wetlands project. The farming inputs allocated to Milenge include urea fertilizer, D-compound fertilizer and maize seed, tomato, onion, cabbage and pesticides. Linda Mpemo has the rest of the story.
To improve food security in the country, government is implementing the Food Security Park FSP program through the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services. Milenge District Commissioner has since flagged off the distribution of farming inputs to vulnerable but viable farmers in the area under the FSP Wetlands project.
Our targeted beneficiaries under this program is 600 across the district. Whoever receives maize is not going to receive the vegetable pack. Whoever receives vegetable won't receive maize. Let us bring development in our area by appreciating the government's efforts in terms of utilizing the farming inputs that we are going to receive by using them to the intended purpose.
The development has elated beneficiaries.
Kwana ndeto tela pako ngafoko mwanga fa baka inde ichirema na le tula fiene nsala abana bale muka fe fimbi apako enda nomba au mwanundi akapito na le mama garden nomba na dani mafia kanono mlandu wako bati capital nshakwete pamwe anundi apo capital
pamonga FMC pera tape food support program ya ili namba ni form of youth empowerment fyara twafanga wanu mafafeneka garden wakwata kono twakuta fafine tumbino kushawasha kusonshi twambo kuikala kwa bwino pamonga misepera.
Linda Mupemo, Zanis, Milenge District, Lapula Province.
The Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA, says management of waste is still a huge challenge in the country as indiscriminate burning of waste remains the most used method of waste disposal. ZEMA Managing Director says Zambia is lagging behind in the management of electronic waste as explicit legislation and policy is not yet in place.
Electronics have become a part of our daily lives. As such, concerns on how they're disposed of, considering their harm to the environment, have continued to rise. Unfortunately, these concerns are not known to most ordinary Zambians.
So napeza kuti jafoni yafa. Ndenga jafoni kuitaya kusanga kwa mene titaira binyalala bili vonse. Ivi vintu nangu titaya palibecha metiziwa kuti chimaleta matenda kumuntu nangu chingatipase problem ili yonse sitizi batima vitacha bekamba kuti chitasira nchito.
And this is a source of worry to the Zambia Environmental Management Agency.
E-waste has become a very big problem in Zambia. But basically, what do we mean when we say e-waste? So e-waste basically relates to the electronic devices that have no further use. We want to dump your computers, your phone, your cameras, all this kind of waste. It's a special kind of waste because some of it could be radioactive, which could actually have very detrimental health effects. So this is why it has to be handled in a special manner. Yeah, so at the moment in Zambia, we do not really have, first of all, we do not have an explicit legislation on how to handle e-waste, which legislation is being now formulated. And secondly, we do not have explicit policies on how to deal with it, which policies are currently being developed. At the moment, we have a few companies, about 3 or 4 companies, that can collect this e-waste and even export it to countries where they have disposal facilities. So we are making those efforts.
These concerns are also shared by the Zambia Institute of Environmental Health.
I hope that as we move forward, government through ZEMA and other cooperating partners and bodies will come on board that we discuss how we're going to manage this e-waste. We have got a lot of electronics coming into the country. We've got a lot of mobile devices that are being used and being destroyed. So this is potential waste every day. So how do we manage it? We call on government to call us on board that we could discuss with stakeholders, that we could formulate policies that are going to help with the management of e-waste in our country, as has been done with other waste in our country, like municipal waste as well as medical waste.
To address this, among other issues, ZEMA is conducting this workshop in Chipata to build the capacity of environmental health officers across the province. This is under the Africa Environmental Health and Pollution Management Program. Abigail Kashweka, Zanis in Chipata.
From Eastern Province, we go to Northwestern Province, where the continuous voter registration exercise in Solwezi District has taken a twist as people are allegedly obtaining voters' cards in order to access farming inputs. A named civic leader is allegedly spreading falsehoods that those without voters' cards will not access farming inputs for the 2022-2023 farming season. Meanwhile, Solwezi Mayor Remi Kalepa has appealed to members of the public to ignore the falsehoods as a voter's card is not a requirement for one to access farming inputs.
Continuous voter registration is working well in Solwezi District of Northwestern Province. However, some people have mixed feelings due to misinformation from a named civic leader.
mwake bakuba namba tambure ko ka vote ka kuba akatambure ku fertilize betu ambira mamusa akatambura mwaka uliye.
Solwezi Mayor Remy Kaleba says the assertion by named councillor is against the New Dawn government policy on fertilizer import support program.
A voter's card will not qualify someone be a beneficiary of government's support in terms of supporting farmers with the inputs. It's just what makes them qualify is them just being Zambians. That's it. With the Green National Registration Card.
On the other hand, some electorates are calling for decentralization of continuous voter registration to the grassroots.
Pokamba ufume kwa wiye kuno mutauni ya Solwezi utambure voters card ka ulipile 300 Maria moa vura kajukewe kwa mamba kafurumende itubire ngovu naji tutambure konka akwa.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia gives a guide on the matter.
What has happened that is this registration we are having in the provincial centers. So it's only the provincial centers which are gazetted, and for any place to operate as a registration center, it has to be gazetted. So at the moment, in Northwest, the only gazetted place is always the municipal council, and there's no way we can go to any outside the gazetted places. So our people should just make sure that they come and register themselves.
For Zanis News, I am Chebunkoma, Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
Zanis News continues. Local Government Service Commission Chairperson Axon Sejani says the human resource management committees being constituted across the country will be closely monitored and evaluated to ensure compliance to set standards. Mr. Sejani has, however, warned that once formed, the Commission will not hesitate to deal with those who will fail to carry out their mandate. Here is a report.
Local Government Commission Service Chairperson Axon Sejani says the establishment of Human Resource Management Committees, HRMCs, will help in actualizing government's decentralization policy. Mr. Sejani, who was speaking when he officially opened the 5-day program for the formation of HRMCs in Luapula Province at Sali Riverside Lodge in Mansa, has since warned those tasked to run the HRMCs to discharge their obligations with professionalism.
Human resource management committees that we are constituting will be closely monitored and evaluated to ensure compliance to set standards, including the Code of Ethics, whose core objective is to set acceptable behavior for persons in the public and local government service.
And Mansa Mayor Njiko Msuku notes that human resource is an asset for the success of any institution.
For the committees to be effective, there is need for everyone to pay extra attention and also commit in order to have an efficient, effective human resource.
Earlier, during the Ketes call at the provincial administration, Luapula Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Royd Mwansa appealed to the Commission to help councils which were lagging behind in the utilization of the Constituency Development Fund.
We are hoping that, I think we have a very good team in the province that are going to get the knowledge, the wisdom that will be put together so that after your exit, we should start seeing things happening. Because even now, sir, as I speak to you, some constituencies, they have received the money, they are in the account, but they are failing to utilize it. We don't know where the problem is.
Chipili Makasa, Zanis, Mansa District.
Still in Luapula Province, Mwansa Wombwe District Administrative Officer Godfrey Nkandu says census activities are on course. Mr. Nkandu says some enumerators have been dispatched into fishing camps along the Luapula River. More in the following report by Lewis Changwe.
The census enumerators in Mwansa district are doing final touches following the extension of the exercise for 5 days.
Information ya panopanga ndamu kwa mwafiashi. Iyo alafusha kwa fyo uteko kumana fya nshira imo. Eyo bangato afusha mkwai kuta mchituwa chabumi, ichabulimi, na icha masambiro mkwai.
And so far
we are just doing great. With the extension that they've given us, we were able to finish the interviews according to the time.
Some people who have been counted so far are happy with the exercise.
Yes, I've been visited by these people, the enumerators, getting the information for the 2022 census. The information has been captured.
And the district administration is happy with the progress made so far.
As Mwanza-Bombwe district, we are on course because our census of population and housing started on a good note. The extension of the 5 days that we've been given, I think we are going to manage. As I speak to you, we have just dispatched a team of our enumerators that have gone into our fishing camps. As you may be aware, Mwanza-Bombwe district is a fishing district. We have a good number of our people that have gone to settle in the banks of Luapula River. So we are not going to leave anyone without being counted.
Lewis Changwe, Zanis, Mwanza-Bombwe.
World Vision Zambia has completed the construction of a girls' dormitory at Kanchomba Day Secondary School in Pemba District in Southern Province, valued at over 450,000 kwacha. Pemba District Commissioner Obe Hawenzu, who received the facility, commended World Vision Zambia for the support. Details in the following report by Kostak Mudenda.
Learners at Kanchomba Day Secondary School in Pemba District have over the years been housed in this old structure with no facilities suitable to ease the stay of a girl child. Now, government working with World Vision Zambia has completed the construction of a modern boarding facility furnished with beds and mattresses to accommodate female pupils here.
These are things that need to continue to grow in Zambia, and that's one of the things that World Vision is committed to and continuing to do that.
We have equipped with 100 bed spaces. We procured mattresses for them and did bunker beds for this facility. This facility costed us well over 350,000 kwacha.
May I say thank you very much to World Vision for coming at the right time when we really need such kind of infrastructure to cushion such challenges which we are facing as a district.
Both the school administration and the pupils are grateful for this development.
Over the years, we have seen a number of pupils being enrolled at this school from far-flung places. This actually prompted the school to come up with a temporary weekly boarding facility. The said weekly boarding facility could not accommodate many girls because of limited bed spaces. As a result, some of the girls are renting elsewhere.
I would like to thank the World Vision for the good job that they did for building a girls' dormitory at Kanchomba Secondary School. We had so many challenges that made girls to walk long distances every day from their homes to school. Some were just renting behind the shops, which is very dangerous to a girl child. Some got pregnant because it was not easy for the teachers to go and see where each and every pupil is ranging from.
Kostak Mudenda, Zanis, in Pemba District, Southern Province.
Zanis News continues. School fees and poverty are some of the barriers that kept many from continuing with their education. A Kaoma-based mother of 5 who has been living in poverty, thereby struggling to pay school fees for her children, has decided to go back to school after the introduction of the free education policy. Pethias Mutale has more in the following report.
As of this year, primary and secondary education is free in Zambia after President Hakainde Hichilema honored his election campaign promise to make education accessible to all. While the move has been held by many parents who could not previously send their children to school, parents themselves have decided to return to school. In Kaoma district of Western Province, this mother of 5 children has also joined her children at Mulamatila Combined School in grade 7.
nitumela hulu kakuli ninani bana bakaba bakena passport
amwangala amwe wamusoga grade 7 people at Namatila school. I've come back to school because of free education that has been produced by New Dawn government. And I'm not feeling shy because I go to school at the same time with my three children. But I'm not ashamed to say I'm at this school. And I also want to encourage.
Mwangala's husband has since given total support to his wife, whom he believes will be a nurse not long from now.
My children, I wanted her to go to school, complete her education, even become employed, so that she can sustain the livelihood of my children, even me, because currently I'm not working. We failed to do this in the past because we were paying money and we had no resources. So when
and the head teacher at Mulamatila School says Mwangala and her colleagues will never be discriminated.
As an institution, we have assigned the guidance department so that all our learners are cancelled. All the learners in a given class are cancelled and they accommodate these elderly ones that come to school.
Mwangala's courage has not only delighted her husband, but the Gender Division Permanent Secretary, Mahinga Kabika.
It's an excitement, it's an empowerment for us. We look at education as an empowerment. This woman here has been empowered. Not only has she been empowered by our Republican President, by giving her free education, but she has also been empowered by her husband, who has allowed her to come back to school.
The only hope is that other mothers will join Mwangala's move, since the biggest barrier to access education was money matters. Pethias Mutale for Zanis News in Kaoma, Western Province.
And finally, sports. A soccer analyst has hailed the Football Association of Zambia for the newly constituted under-23 national team bench ahead of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Musonda Chibulu says the technical bench has the much-needed expertise to steer the team to the Olympics. Sande Walia brings us more in the following report.
With the under-23 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers around the corner, the Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, has constituted the under-23 national team bench to steer the team to victory. A soccer analyst, Musonda Chiburu, has welcomed the Football Association of Zambia for appointing Oswald Mutapa as under-23 national team coach, while former Chipolopolo skipper Christopher Katongo is physical trainer.
Firstly, let's look at the appointment of Oswald Mutapa as the Zambia under-23 national soccer team coach, because the assignment that he has together with his technical bench is huge. Christopher Katongo has been roped in as physical trainer. It's extremely important. Won the Africa Cup of Nations as skipper in 2012 for Zambia. But their task is huge in that they are facing Sierra Leone and they are no longer non-entities in world football, and you have to prepare very well.
Meanwhile, Chiburu has also thanked the Copper Queens for lifting the COSAFA Cup for the first time in the history of Zambia.
Now, winning the COSAFA shows how far Zambia has come now, that the teams that used to trouble Zambia in women football are no longer a threat. This also shows the growth of the game in Zambia. Now, this victory now means that Zambia can go to Australia like the bosses of the Southern African region. This will give them a lot of confidence going into the tournament, because they will know that they're not just going as representatives of Africa, of Southern Africa, they're going as representatives of Zambia as well as the region.
And the soccer fan has also praised the Copper Queens for the splendid performance at the just-ended COSAFA Cup tournament in South Africa.
You've made us proud. You've brought this trophy home. I think it was our wish for us to see you guys winning, and wishing you all the best.
The technical bench has got what it takes to sharpen the team to prepare adequately to do better in the under-23 Africa Cup of Nations, which is around the corner. Reporting for Zanis in Osaka, I am Sunday Warrior.
That sports item brings us to the end of Zanis News, but before we go away, another look at the top stories. Price of fertilizer set to reduce on local market. Solwezi farmers swayed into obtaining voters' cards to access farming inputs. and FARS held for the newly constituted Under-23 national team. Thank you so much for keeping us company on Zanis News. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Remember, we are one Zambia, one nation.